Welcome, useful content community. Today we'll be talking about how to elevate your presentations using green screen with our special guest, content creator, virtual presentation and streaming expert, Garrin Bulani.
Broadcasting live from Relate Studios in Trinidad and Tobago, it's the Useful Content Creation Show with your host, Juma Bannister.
This is the Useful Content Creation Show where business owners come to learn how to create useful content and to build better business relationships with their employees and their clients. My name is Juma Bannister, and I'm happy to be with you. I am your host. And for those who are in the comments, remember we are the Useful Content Community. Don't forget to throw up your bulbs. We own the bulb emoji. And for those who might be forgetting what that looks like, let me just show you real quick. Throw up your bulbs right down in the comments. Drop your hashtag UCC Live. And if you're here for the replay, drop your hashtag UCC Replay. And today, I'm happy to introduce to you our special guest who is going to teach us useful things on how to make your presentations better by using green screen. Welcome to the show, Garrin.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on?
Yeah.
Oh,
Sometimes we laugh, sometimes we cry, but I guess
get
you're
situated here, folks.
baby. I took a half and she took the whole thing. Slow down, baby.
Woo! What's going on, Juma? Thank you so much for having me on today.
Yeah, that's the best entrance we've had. I should start doing entrances like that, man. I should start doing entrances like that. That's great, man. That's great, man. Great to see you, man.
Likewise, I appreciate having me on the show. I'm very excited for this.
Yeah, it's been a while coming. All right, so for the people who don't know who you are, let's tell the people who you are, tell them who you are and what you do.
A little bit about me. Perfect. So my name is Garrin Bulani. I'm a content creator here on LinkedIn, and I'm a virtual sales trainer, virtual sales professional. So I've been in sales, outside sales for over a decade. And of course, 2 years ago, I had to completely revolutionize the way I presented my product and my solution to my clientele. Zoom meetings and video was the answer for me, and over a short 2 years, I consistently invested back into myself as far as providing a premium experience for my clientele as far as presentation skills and making virtual meetings not boring. And here I am now being able to teach individuals, the importance of virtual professionalism, showing up on camera the way we expect to, and providing our clients with just a memorable experience when you're showing them a presentation. So that's a little bit about me.
Yeah, you've been big into sales, and now you're doing this virtual stuff, which I think you have one of the most unique personal brands I've seen on the platform.
I appreciate that.
Always very, very. I want to know who lines you up. That's always very on point.
Hey, I'm gonna let my barber know that too. It's a little bit nappy right now. I do my own beard, but like the hairline, I'm letting it grow out a little bit. So I appreciate that.
Yeah. It's always on point. So great. So let's talk about what you do. But before that, I want to ask you the big question that I ask everyone who comes on the show: what makes your content useful?
Yeah, it's I love that question because content. When you think about content, there's such a variety of content. You have blogs, you have audio, you have video, and for me, I really established video to be able to build credibility for myself, especially as a young person entering into a new industry and a new job. So having content and video content allows, it's almost like it's a profile, it's a resume to allow individuals to know who I am, how I enunciate, how I talk, how I deliver messages. And then when there's times and cases where, hey, looking to get new roles as far as live streaming and then keynote speeches and everything like that. It's a matter of saying, hey, you can go to my LinkedIn, you can see all of my content, you can see how I do video edits, and if you like that style, we can discuss further. So it's really over the last 2 years, having content has built a personal portfolio. So no matter what role and what position and what company I go to, it's still Garrin Bulani. It's not, I leave a company and I don't have an identity anymore. And that was really imperative with me when I left my corporate role, because I've watched a lot of high caliber sales individuals and leaders get let go because of hardships, and they didn't have anything to build off of them rather than just a piece of paper as far as a resume. So content creation and content itself, there's a longevity to it, and I'm just starting. I'm excited to be in a position, 5 and 10 years now with consistent content. It's really hard to argue the benefits of that, and I'm just starting out with that. So that's a long-winded on why content is extremely important and useful for me on a daily basis.
Excellent. Good stuff. Helps build your personal brand. Most definitely. I could agree with that. And it's been doing well with that. Let me say hello to some of the people down in the comments.
Yeah.
Well, we had
everybody?
Margot on earlier.
Margot. Welcome.
Came ultra early. I'm not sure if she's still around, but thank you so much for jumping on, Margot. Let's say hello to. Well, Daniel came on twice. He came on and he said, "Let's do this," and then he came
Mr.
on later. Later on,
the light bulbs.
He threw up his bulbs. Allison is here throwing up her bulbs as well. And
I
Christian, this is the first time I've seen Christian on. Christian, what's up, man?
What's up, Christian? Welcome.
Yeah, he's on YouTube.
I got my light bulb too. So everybody tap the emoji thing. Let's get this thing pumping. Let's break the algorithm on LinkedIn here, folks.
And Keneal is there too. Keneal is throwing up his bulbs as well. Keneal is one of the faithful members of the Useful Content community. All right. Great. Good stuff. Who is this LinkedIn user? We always have someone.
LinkedIn user, identify yourself.
It's Nikisha. Hi, Nikisha. I'm going to throw it up.
Nikisha.
We still haven't fixed that problem, Nikisha. What's up with that? We still haven't fixed that problem with your account. All right, so let's get into it a little bit. So fair warning to the people. I'm gonna just so everyone knows this show is gonna be a podcast eventually. So we're gonna be doing a lot of talking, but since today is gonna have some visual components, like you saw at the beginning. I just want to warn the podcast people that they're gonna miss out on some visuals. We're gonna try to describe things as much as possible. All right, so Garrin, let's get into it. So I want to know. So why would someone want to use green screen anyway? What's the point of using a green screen?
Yeah, that's a good question, and it's been. I mean, green screens have been around in Hollywood cinematics for years. It's not like it's a new technology or anything like that. It's just starting to get implemented at the lower level. And Garrin Parkins, my business partner that I work with, he talks about the green screen being the new office door. And I love the idea of a green screen because it gives individuals the ability to really hide their surroundings, right? I work with a lot of clientele where they may not necessarily be fortunate enough to be able to, have a designated room for their home office. Even myself, I've worked from home for 6 years, and many of those years have been on the kitchen table. And there's a lot of individuals who are high caliber sales professionals or just wanting to deliver a good presentation, but they're not really confident in their surroundings. So the green screen, it really gives you an opportunity you can be anywhere, and then it allows you to kind of create a dynamic where it hides maybe things that you're vulnerable about, and it allows, I go into the presentations about it too, it really creates a dynamic of a presentation. The virtual world, it's, we think 2D when we do like the PowerPoint presentation and we just put up the screen and then talk through it, where you know what, we're not utilizing the cube we're in, right? There's a screen right there, an imaginary screen, so why don't we put stuff on that screen? And there's stuff behind here, so why don't we utilize this space to be able to deliver an engaging message? So that's why the green screen is so critical. However, there is a technique to using a green screen to make it look good. And a lot of people struggle with the green screen because even for myself, the green screen is probably one of the hardest things to, I guess, master or understand. But once you get the concept of the lighting and how it needs to be positioned, and we can get into that if we need to, but it really creates a dynamic profile and a really good presentation.
Yeah. The thing that stood out to me in what you said there is that when you talked about being in the kitchen and all those different things, but the thing that stood out to me really strongly is that a green screen giveth and a green screen taketh away. So it's almost like you can use the green screen to hide things, but you can use the green screen also to add things in. And so it comes from both sides of the virtual presentation equation. And so that is what stood out to me in what you said, which I hadn't thought about it before, but you literally, and for those who don't know, those who are just hearing this, you could have heard Garrin pull his screen up and down during that, and he was just showing how the green screen works. And when he pulled it up, there was a virtual background, a really cool one at that. And when he pulled it down, it was just showing the rest of the room. And I could see like you took away the room, but you added in your virtual background, and I find that was really cool.
Yes, it's really fun and it's really fun thing to play around with, as far as adding graphics and stuff like that, and having, it really creates an enjoyable experience. And I love working with a green screen because you can add some fun stuff in there and really create an interesting dynamic.
Right. Okay. So let me ask some hard questions. We know over the last two years that there had been an explosion of virtual presentations, virtual meetings, webinars, and the like. Some people might see that virtual revolution as over because we are back out in person for the most part. Some people might say doing virtual presentations is dead now. And they might even say, I'm not going to place emphasis on that. I'm going to go back to just doing stuff in person. What would you say to somebody who has that mindset about how you can use something like the green screen to enhance presentations?
Yeah, that's a common trend that we talk about, things going back to normal and the way business is. And I can really sympathize with people wanting to have that human interaction. Even myself, it was very hard as an extreme extrovert to not be able to go and meet people and talk to people. So basically what my goal is a lot of people don't like virtual presentations is because they're not good virtual presentations. So being able to create an engaging presentation that allows the viewer to stay with you. But, there's going to be a percentage that goes back, but we can't sit here and neglect the fact that virtual presentations are dead and they're not going to happen. There's going to be a hybrid role. My predictions is, there's going to be a wave of people going back to, flying across the country to do this and do that. And then there's going to be a realization, because over the last 2 years, businesses have understand, hey, we can be sustainable and we can be profitable without having to fly X amount of employees across the country or come into the office. And there's going to be a small percent of employees in every single organization that is more productive when working from home because they're allowed to blend their personal life in them with their work life rather than going to like a 9 to 5. So there's always going to be a hybrid with that. And then I feel once the kind of the wave of going back to human interaction is kind of like subsided, I guess, or I don't know if that's the right word, but the virtual is going to start to come back. But even for a lot of individuals in my space in the virtual presentations and the keynote speaking, you talk about being able to do presentations across the country, across the world, right? Here we are in Saskatoon, and then we're sitting on an island kind of thing, right? And it's an amazing way to be able to connect and network on a bigger scale at a very cost-effective rate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I agree. I don't think it's going to go away. I think we need it. We actually do need that. And trust me, I haven't been traveling for the last few years after having traveled so much, and I kind of miss it, but I kind of don't, so, it's like a balance in between there.
And it's kind of cool with this too, because you think about the green screen, even if I do go traveling and I'm in a hotel room, I could show up like this. I just need hardwired internet, and they might think I'm in the studio kind of thing. And that's where kind of even going back with Micro Studio, being able to take the stuff with me when I travel. So there's going to be a hybrid with that. But this is why the green screen is amazing, because you don't know if I'm in my mom's basement or if I'm in a production studio kind of thing.
Oh, it's true. I hadn't thought of that. You could take it with you. It's true. It's
Yeah.
very, very true. Very, very true. Let me just say hello to some of the people now in the comments real quick.
Yeah.
Of course, Garrin was summoned by you early on. Yeah,
GP,
yeah.
what's up, my guy? That's my guy. If you like my content, you like following me, you got to follow the other Garrin.
Yeah, he was summoned. As soon as you called his name, he actually came on. I just kind of delayed showing the comment.
That's the thing, man. Like, you get two Garrins. We said, it's like subliminal. It's like, yo, G, come in. And he's there. So I appreciate that. Welcome, Gabe.
Summer, thank you so much for jumping on. I appreciate that. Good to see you. Camille is being tongue-in-cheek here. Well, that explains it. Green screens are cool. And we have a question from Daniel, which I'll come to last. And Camille is saying, hello, Garrin. And Garrin, and Daniel has asked the question, and we'll just answer this real quick, and then we'll move on. Sure. He's asked the question, Garrin, what's the coolest keying green screen effect have you seen on a live stream?
Ooh. Well, can I say my own live streams? No. It's the coolest. That's a tough one. I have some that I haven't played yet or anything like that, but it's I don't see a lot of people use a green screen on a live stream, to be honest. I haven't
Okay.
personally. So that's not a very good answer, Daniel. I apologize for that. But hey, Garrin's ego says Garrin's got the best green screen. So until somebody else proves me wrong, I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna ring my own bell or something like that. Give him one of those.
Okay, you take the GOAT status for that one, while we look for someone
Self-proclaimed,
else, while we look for a worthy challenger. All right, so let's talk a little bit about virtual professionalism. You're an advocate for that, but
Yes.
for the people who are listening, what does that actually mean?
When I display this, people think it's equipment. At the end of the day, a lot of people think virtual professionalism talks about the top of the line of the equipment, which is not true. To me, virtual professionalism is just caring about how you show up in video, right? You see how we're both sitting here, we're squared up with the frame. We have proper lighting to be able to highlight, like low light shadows, and we got hair lights and stuff to really create a dynamic. Whereas, a lot of virtual presentations, they have natural light and they're washed out with the camera, or maybe they're positioning down here and they're talking like that, or they're all the way up here. So stuff like that to me is what virtual professionalism is, actually putting in an effort to when you go into a Zoom meeting or a virtual call. It's not just flip up the laptop anymore. It's, hey, let's position the webcam. Let's get the audio. Let's do sound check, right? Let's do lighting check before we go into the meetings. Very much like what you and I did for the first 10 minutes. I do that with all my virtual calls. I do audio check, I do visual checks and everything like that. So when I go into meetings, we talk about technology and being fearful of technology because of things going wrong, which is very true. But if you prep yourself first and you know where the technical difficulties may come and be able to quickly switch into it, that's virtual professionalism to me. And being able to run a fluid presentation without hiccups, right? How often do we say, hey, okay, I'm gonna share my screen quickly here. Click. Okay, can you see the screen? Where it's, it should be a click of a button. Hey, I'm going to switch the screen here over for you and we can go to that. So to me, that's what virtual professionalism is, coming to a meeting as if you're going to be in a boardroom and having effective. It's not necessarily the equipment. However, I do test people on LinkedIn and YouTube when they already understand this concept, but they're not upgrading their equipment as they grow. That's where I kind of come in and start out of trash talking a little bit about that kind of stuff too. But I do give off a persona. It's always about the equipment, but it's not. It's about putting in effort in your presentations to be the best person you can. So that's what virtual professionalism means to me.
Yeah, I like the parallel you drew about, it's just like if you're actually in the boardroom, you wouldn't come to the boardroom without being prepared, Yeah,
and even working from home,
Yeah.
get out of your PJs, comb your hair, brush your teeth, like little things like that it may get thrown on the back burner because when you work from home, your habits and tendencies start to go off. But if you're getting ready to go to a boardroom or go to the office, are you doing the same thing that you're doing when you're working from home or going into a virtual meeting, right? So
Yeah, I do think, that's an interesting kind of segue, not into something I was planning to, but just from the perspective of how people treat with some of these virtual things. Like, for example, if you were to take yourself or me or some other person who does this on a regular basis, a big part of the thing that's important to me is actually being very consistent, how we're presented, staying on brand, keeping the visual messages very clear. Your audio has to be a particular way, and those things are important to me. Not saying that people who don't have the equipment, we are kind of looking down on those people, but at the same time, I think from a presentation point of view, especially if you're going to sell to or to get clients, that appearing this way has a ton of benefits.
Definitely, it does, and it allows you. Like I talk about the credibility, but you talk about there's a lot of individuals who sell hundreds of $1,000 contracts, $100,000 contract, and when you going into a virtual meeting, Garrin Parkins talks about this too. If you're selling a $1 million contract, you need to look like $1 million, right? And this is kind of what the dynamics of actually putting an emphasis into it, because it allows you to be a credible source. It allows people to actually be engaged with you because your audio is not chopping, your audio is clear and concise. And I'm always a visual guy, so I'm always talking about having the best camera, not the best camera, then throwing that out. But I know audio is a critical importance with being able to create engagement and just allow individuals to actually listen without having to work for it. That's the hardest thing about the virtual world, is our brains are trying to understand this concept. I'm staring at a screen and there's a little individual talking to me. So your brain is almost in it's processing a lot faster than if you were in it face to face. So being able to synchronize human interaction as close to possible is what's going to allow you to be able to build that credibility and ask for the business and really be able to shorten sales cycles in my space, because I'm in the sales world. But being able to shorten sales cycle because you can look like this.
Yeah, agreed. And talking about looks, Janelle, I see a question down there. I'm not sure Garrin will be able to answer this question, but I can take a shot at it. The question is, what about makeup as part of the professional image?
Yeah, I mean, I do sometimes have a beard line. I don't have it on today, but I'm not wearing makeup right now. But that is a critical fact for females and everything. But you even think about Hollywood, and like there's makeup, individuals in newsrooms. So that's all I really got. I think it's an important factor. If you want me to teach you about makeup and stuff, I know that now. So Juma, maybe you know a lot more about makeup than I do.
I have a little bit of experience. I mean, Janelle, actually, the person who asked this question, I know her. She works with jobs with us sometimes. She's from Trinidad and Tobago, and she does makeup for us. So I've seen the process. In my days of shooting weddings, we saw hundreds of people get makeup applied. So I kind of have an idea about it. But yeah, and I would say even on TV they have makeup. So I guess makeup is an important part of that process
very
as well.
I mean, I wouldn't recommend if you're just going into a Zoom meeting or anything like that to have that. I'm not going to attempt to put makeup on myself because that won't look good. Like I said, I got a beard trimmer that kind of lines it up a little bit, like how the girls do with the eyebrows. But other than that, I'm exposing myself. Other than that, I'm gonna get made fun of or something.
All right, well, we all our guys are just mostly soap and water. So let's just move on. All right, so I know that the virtual professionalism has some pillars. Can you tell us what those pillars are?
Yes, so there's three for me. It's video, it's visual, audio, and lighting. And for individuals who can master those three components, I look at virtual professionalism as almost like a tripod. And if you're able to understand the dynamics of video and visuals and then have the lighting and great audio, that's a component of being virtually professional as far as a whole. So those are the three main pillars when it comes to that kind of stuff. And it's the lighting out of all three. Probably the audio would probably be the most difficult to understand. The lighting second, then of course the camera in itself is good, but you don't just plug in the camera. You have to do overlays and color corrections and all that kind of fun stuff too. So those are the kind of dynamics for me.
So let's talk about the relationship between the lighting and using your green screen. And why is lighting so critical when using your green screen?
Yeah, and that's the thing is what a lot of people maybe have frustrations with, because a basic setup you'll have a green screen up and then you'll maybe have one ring light on you, right? And the issues with green screens, you have to really separate yourself from the backdrop. So in a perfect case scenario, you really should be separated yourself 10 to 15 feet from your green screen. However, I'm about like a foot away from my green screen, just to give people a perspective on that. But lighting is critical you need to light up your actual green screen behind you. Has to have consistent lighting with that. And then you have to actually light yourself in there. So a big issue is a lot of people when they use green screen, it's either they don't have a green screen, so they just use like a virtual backdrop. And then that's where you're gonna get like the frizzy ends and stuff like that too. Because even with a green screen, it's called a chroma key. And you need to adjust the chroma key to be able to highlight and low light the actual green aspects. So a lot of people don't have that. So that's where they get kind of the frizzy shoulders and the frizzy hair. And then of course, another component is a hair light is one of the most underutilized, I guess, lights when it comes to using a green screen, because you can see at the top of the crown, having that really separates myself from the green screen. So you don't find yourself bleeding into the green screen. And then of course the brightness. Bright light doesn't mean a better picture, I talk about, and you'll find sometimes, and you can almost kind of see it on my backdrop, the green screen, because the light ricochets back, it almost kind of bleeds onto my jacket there. So being mindful of that to not having the lights too bright, because that's not always necessarily better.
Right. So it can, if the lights are too bright on the backdrop, it could bleed back onto your person and then make the edges soft.
Definitely. So we talk about this too, and I know you know this too, Jim, but like a 3 light three-point lighting system is what's critical. So you have your key light, you can kind of see it here. I have a key light that's coming in front of me right here. I have a small fill light that's coming from my left, and then I actually have a light that's designated directly for my green screen. And I could probably even turn this light down a bit so it's not casting such a reflection of the green on there. But I mean, you can be picky as all you want when it comes to green screens kind of thing.
Right. And for those who may not know, what is the difference? Because some people hear this green screen is kind of a catch-all term, but some people may know about blue screens. Is there any difference between green and blue?
Yeah, that's a good question. I want to say no. However, I'm sure there's people in the crowd will probably argue me with that. I have never used a blue screen before. I think the idea of just a green screen or a blue screen is just having something like a highlighted color that's easy enough for your camera to kind of detect. You know, a lot of people aren't going to go into a live stream with a lime green shirt or like a really bright blue shirt, but I don't have experience with the blue screen. I imagine the dynamics are the same. I don't know if there's a benefit to using a blue screen over a green screen or not.
Right. Let me just kind of pull some of my filmmaking knowledge here to add to what you said. I think generally, and there may be more to it than this, but generally when they're shooting night scenes, they use blue screen, and when they're shooting day scenes, they use green. I'm not sure as to why that's the case, but I guess for anybody who is doing virtual presentations in the office, it really doesn't matter. Does it?
Maybe that might be my next challenge. Maybe I should do a virtual meeting out in the woods or something like that. And then I'll pull that, or I'm on a ski hill or something and pull it down. I might have to do something like that with the blue screen.
That'd be a great challenge. And let's have a question here coming in real quick from Nikisha. Nikisha is asking, what is the heat is the heat like with all those lighting?
Ooh, I do have a couple fans in the studio. I have a couple fans that's blowing at me right now. The lights I have in here, they don't cast a lot of heat. However, just being in this room itself, my computer probably puts off more heat than these actual lights do and everything like that. And that's, knowing the benefits of getting lights. You get lower quality lights and everything like that. It might cast off a little bit more heat. These lights that I have, they're not hard to touch, the LEDs and stuff like that too. So not warm with the lights in here. However, it is cooking in here, especially when you got a blazer and a dress shirt on and everything like that. And then you're nervous going on live. So I'll keep my blazer on so you don't see like the little pit stains or anything like that.
All right, so I hope that's useful, Nikisha. It can get warm, but with these LED lights, it's not a huge deal. I have like 3 lights on around me now, and granted, I have AC on, but it's not a huge deal. It's in Saskatoon. It's still kind of cold, right? Still cold a little.
Yeah, we're in spring right now, so it was snowing this morning, but it was super sunny today. So I like the warm. So anytime, I might have to come down to Trinidad with you and just hang out on the beach there.
Yeah, the beaches are open now, so you could definitely do that. All right, so let me ask another question. So for somebody who's getting into green screen, they have a particular space, they don't know if they have enough space to set up. What kind of floor space do you need in order to use a green screen?
Oh, I mean, that's a good question. I mean, right now, I'm about a half a foot to a foot away from my green screen right now. This is me kind of really brushed up against it, so you don't need to have a whole lot of space with it. I know they say in a perfect case scenario, 10 to 15 feet away. However, that's perfection kind of thing. So, a lot of times you're sitting on the bench, you can hang it up right behind you. What I would recommend if you're using a cloth green screen, just to be mindful of the creases. Having it a straight green screen, because going back to the lights, one of the biggest issues is if you have lights and it's a creased green screen, then it's going to cast shadows and it's not going to be clean. So just if you are hanging up a green screen, it doesn't matter the depth, just make sure that it's minimal wrinkles or creases or anything like that. Then you won't have to be worrying about trying to fix shadows or anything like that.
Yeah. Strangely, I have a story with my sister. One day we were on a virtual meeting, and she wanted to use a green screen but didn't have one. And I could see way down in the back in her room, there was a bed cover, a bed sheet, and it was like the perfect color green. And I told her just hang that up, and she did, and that became a green screen like in an instant.
I
You
love
know,
that.
so
I actually, I went to the dollar store and because I have a green screens on my desk. So when I actually do product demonstrations and everything, I'll have a camera pointed at my desk and then I'll chroma it. But I just went to the dollar store and spent $2 and got a green little Bristol board type thing, like a little pamphlet, and then I taped it onto my desk. And I use that for a table green screen now. So you can definitely get creative with it. As long as it's green and it's consistent green, you'll be able to use it in some way.
yeah. That's great. That's great. And what about things like, for example, brand identity things that have to be included? I noticed that you have your logo behind you.
Suit and tie.
Yeah, the suit and tie. Yeah, long as I got my suit and tie. Okay. So you have that behind you. Is that well? I guess you wouldn't do that for people, but do you recommend that as like? Do you advise on how people can get those type of things done as well?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the setting and stuff like that. I probably wouldn't go to a virtual meeting with an automated spinning tie. Just, it does cause a bit of a distraction. I was even contemplating having it for the show because I like automated. I would probably even move the tie, but you can see the backdrop. It kind of flickers with the red and stuff like that. Something like that would be good too. But if you're in a formal meeting, I know a lot of people use a virtual background, like they're on a beach or they're in an ocean, and that's fun and everything like that. And I'm not steering people away from that. But just be mindful when you are in meetings. The purpose is to be able to talk with you and not be too distracted on what's going behind you and everything like that. I try to recommend using darker colors when you're on a green screen, especially in virtual meetings, because if you have bright lights and like a white backdrop, we talk about Zoom fatigue, and that's hard on the audience and the viewer to be able to watch a meeting for a half hour, 45 minutes with a plain white backdrop. It's just hard on the eyes and you get drained. So I'd recommend doing darker tone colors just to be easier for the audience, and then just minimize animations just so you're not taking away the distraction from your actual message.
Right. That makes sense. That makes a whole lot of sense. Daniel is actually schooling us down in the comments. He's saying the
Yeah,
difference
he's a green
between
screen king, so.
green screen and blue screen is that the green screen captures much more light, and that which is why you need to be careful of the green light bleeding. Oh, so that makes sense, because if Hollywood uses blue screen for night shots, it just makes sense. No, that explanation makes sense, and it ties in with what I know. Okay, that makes sense.
He
And it makes
does
sense
amazing
too.
poster work with green screen and chromas and stuff like that. So I know you can send him just with the actual green screen itself on there, and he can actually do post production for you and everything. So he loves doing that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay, cool. That's a good person to know, Daniel. Good stuff. Okay, so streaming obviously is a challenging thing, and you have listen. I am look. You are one of the people who does a lot of solo streams.
Yes.
Just like you jump on. I was looking at the NCAA. Stuff. It's like you're on just streaming for the heck of it, almost like that. Just getting in the reps type of thing. Doing different stuff, trying different things. A lot of times you're solo. Sure, streaming is a challenging thing. We all know that. And of course, by the very nature, it takes a long time. People can spend hours on a stream. What are some of the tricks that you have learned that you can share with people, and that will keep other people engaged while they are on their stream?
Yeah, I appreciate that, and this is what Desk Rig is really focusing on, is being able to help individuals create live streaming virtual presentations with the ease. The reason why it can be difficult and hard to do is because you might not necessarily have the proper equipment, right? And I'm not saying you have to go out and spend $1,000 camera, but there's aspects like the Elgato Stream Deck I was showing you earlier. Out of everything I have in my studio, the Elgato Stream Deck is the number one thing, that the most useful to create efficiency. So now, before I go into a live show, I'm able to pre-program all of my, all my jokes, these pre-scripting things onto my Stream Deck. So it's just a matter of, being able to hit the buttons and put that stuff together. And that's why, a lot of people, when I first started doing my live streams, they thought I had a remote producer doing everything for me. And I had to say, no, like everything I'm doing is in-house here. So Desk Rig, working with Desk Rig and having us, is we enable people, we teach people OBS, so Open Broadcasting System. It's a free software that anybody can use, and it's an amazing tool to really take away the anxiety of technology. You can, OBS is simple to a degree. However, if you really want to utilize it to its full capability, Desk Rig really makes that stuff easy for individuals. So when they want to start going into maybe a higher production live stream, or even if they want to learn remote production, Remote production is huge, and if you have the capability, you come to Desk Rig and we teach you the dynamics of OBS, you're now equipped with this knowledge where you can go anywhere and you can say, hey, I can remote produce your show or your podcast through OBS. So OBS definitely makes my life a lot easier when it comes to streaming and even Zoom meetings and everything like that. It allows me to, and I talk about this, we have so many different platforms, different airports. So we have Restream, we have StreamYard, we have Vidyard, we have Zoom, we have Google, all these different platforms to do meetings on or video on, and they all have different, different tweaks because they're their own platforms. So you share a screen this way, but you have to invite a client this way and that way, to where now OBS is your own personal airport. You're the control center with OBS, so no matter what airport you go to, all of the controls are the exact same. It's just a matter of hitting the virtual camera on your OBS system, and that communicates with any platform. So that's what's really going to take the anxiety out of doing live streaming if you're wanting to do it at a higher production. However, if you are scared of doing live streaming, I just suggest just go and do it. Try it out, test it out. StreamYard and Restream do phenomenal work on simplifying streaming for the beginners. And I just recommend people go on there, enjoy yourself. It seems hectic because you think there's a lot of people watching and judging you, but we were all there at one point. There was one time where we all did our first stream, and you can go back to my streams. There's times where I'm pretty sure it was a couple months ago, you jumped on, and I think we were listening to like Elton John or something like that. I was just doing whatever, right? But learning, because at the start you're not going to draw a whole lot of audience. You get 1 to 2, your homies and stuff like that. They're rooting you on, but that's the best time to make mistakes. So it's having the proper equipment, and OBS and Stream Deck are my two recommendations to be able to simplify streaming for you and take away that anxiety when it comes to technology.
Yeah, that's a great way to end this segment. Great insertion and a description of the things you can do to make your stream even better. And that's good stuff. So let's kind of bring this segment in for a landing. Let's go into a segment I like to call Agree, Disagree.
Ooh,
and
okay.
then we kind of expand the conversation a little bit. Thanks everybody who's down in the comments. You feel free to jump in this section and play along.
Yes.
Now, agree, disagree is, I will ask you, make some statements, and then you can say agree, disagree, and you can expand if you want. These statements are not reflective of what I agree or disagree with, but they're just general statements. Some of them pertain specifically to you.
Okay.
All right, let's jump into agree, disagree. Agree, disagree. So this is the first one, and this is one that I ask everyone who comes to the show. Agree, disagree, passion before skill.
Agree. Have to agree. You have to have passion. You can build your skill after. It's very hard to build passion itself. So agree.
Okay, great, wonderful. Agree, disagree. Cheap gear now beats expensive gear later.
Hang on. Say that again. We got it. Right. Give that to me again.
Cheap gear now beats expensive gear later.
I disagree. The reason why I disagree is because I did it that way. And this is where I need to tread lightly, because for individuals who are just starting out, please invest in it. However, depending what you're wanting the outcome of the stream to be, if you're wanting to monetize streaming, if you're wanting to really separate yourself with that, I would say make do with what you have, save, so you can actually do the upgrade. Because when it comes to the technology, I graduated over over the last 2 years with I started with the basic webcam, and then I got the Brio, and then it's kind of almost like what does the next thing look like? So I have to disagree with that, because I probably spent more money over the last 2 years trying different things and stuff that didn't work, to whereas if I just had a person to go to and they say, hey, get this, and that, it probably would have saved me money in the long run. However, don't be discouraged if you just have a webcam, if you just have a basic microphone. Don't be discouraged that you can't create good content because of that. So how was that?
Yeah.
Very political answer.
This is a new question that I inserted today, and I found it to be very interesting, because I know a lot of us have a journey, and most people don't start off with expensive gear. Most people start off with just what they can afford. Let me just say hello to Kechi down in the comments. Hey Kechi, agree. I guess he's agreeing with passion before skill, and Daniel is also agreeing with that, and And they're saying cheap gear, disagree because it depends on the outcome. Right.
Yes, Daniel. There we go.
Yeah. So most of us start off really small. I mean, my very first camera was Canon A300, a 3.2 megapixel point and shoot. And so I guess you have to, have to start somewhere. So,
But I do got to mention though too, because I was watching your last show and the camera that you're using right now, you said the camera you're using is relative. You said it's almost a decade old or something.
Yeah, it is.
So, and that's what I mean. You buy high quality technology, we talk about mirrorless cameras and stuff like that. The mirrorless camera is not going to get outperformed by a webcam. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm very hard to. I think you invest in a nice mirrorless camera, that's going to take you for the next 5 to 10 years in itself, because it's a quality item and you can use it more than just a webcam. You can take it with your family. You can take family photos and everything like that, right? So you invest in something that's good quality, you're going to get the longevity out of it. Whereas over 10 years, you might have to buy 3, 4, 5 different webcams and stuff like that too. So I wanted to note that because I thought that was really interesting when you mentioned that, because the camera looks phenomenal and it's a decade old, right?
Yeah.
So it's, return on investment on that trifold, I would assume.
Yeah, is that right? It's we keep gear. My business partner, he's in charge of buying. If I was in charge of buying stuff, we'd be buying stuff all the time.
Yeah.
So he like I have to come and ask, can I have this please? And he looks at and he decides whether we get it or not. So that's how it goes.
I wish I had someone that did that for me. My bank account would like me a lot better if I had somebody to do that for it. Juno just says yes to everything, so I can't. She's not really disciplined with that.
Consensus of Juno, and you're getting exactly what you want. Okay, agree, disagree. Appearing at someone's front door to sell is more nerve-wracking than appearing on camera live.
No, I gotta disagree on that one. It's nerve-wracking because you're face to face on a person, knocking door. I love knocking doors. I've knocked doors for eight years. You actually have to communicate with a person, whereas right now I can just talk to a screen and I can just imagine in my head there ain't nobody watching, right? I think there's probably like 1 to 2 million watching us tonight right now, but I just think that it's just me and you here, so it brings the nerves down. Where if it's face to face with someone, it's like, oh man, like I got to talk to this person. They're right there. So I got to say knocking doors is harder than going on live streaming.
Okay, great. That one was for you. Agree, disagree. Innovation is less important than persistence.
Oh. Juma, okay. So if you're innovating, does that mean you're not being persistent? Because they're both kind of... All right, give it to me again. Innovation is more important than being persistent?
It's less important than being persistent.
Innovation is less important than being... I'll agree with that one. Because the innovation will come with persistence. Like if you're being persistent at something, I think it's got to be very hard to not innovate if you're just being persistent, or you're just knocking your head on the wall and doing the same thing over and over again. But hopefully there will be a day where you'll figure it that you got to switch it up, and then that is what I consider to be innovation.
Right, yeah. Because I guess you can innovate way down the line where it really matters less.
Yeah, but that's the hardest part, is just keep doing something, right? Innovating, you change ideas on the next every other day kind of thing, right? But doing it every single time is probably more difficult.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, and lastly, and this is the one that I ask everyone too, and lastly, on social media, you grow more from doing rather than consuming.
Oh yeah, for sure. I like consuming. I mean, they're both very valid as far as like the dynamic of social media. You need producers, you need content creators, and you need observers and content distributors, right? But if you're trying to make your own brand and you're trying to do something with your life, just watching other people do it is not going to get you where you need to be. So I got a strong disagree on that one.
All right, that's excellent. Let me just look at some of the people down in the comments here.
Yeah, I'm going to crack another bubble, you guys. Sorry, hang on.
So Claire saying, hey guys, great to see you both. Great to see you, Claire. Thank you so much for jumping on. Claire was
welcome.
Exactly, Claire. She was in the on my post today. Thank you so much for commenting today on my post.
Yeah, she's
LinkedIn.
great. She does a podcast with 3 others called The Power Hour, and that's a phenomenal podcast every single Thursday at 10 o'clock, I think. But another very good podcast on LinkedIn to watch.
I think I had seen that. I may have jumped in those comments once. Then Lorenzo is saying, I agree that it depends on outcome. From an innovation perspective, starting low fidelity produces the greatest opportunity to learn.
Let's go.
Okay.
The crowd's coming with some heat. Let's get him on the show, man. Kick me off or something. We'll put him on there. That's great. I love that.
Yeah. Thank you, Lorenzo, for that comment. That's a great comment, Lorenzo. And Daniel is saying innovations and persistence go hand in hand.
Yeah, I can't argue that. They do.
Yeah.
But you make me choose one or the other. So I got to choose.
Yeah. I force you to choose one or the other, which is, what it causes your brain to short circuit if you really want to choose both. And thanks to the shout out, Garrin. Yeah, you deserve the shout out, Claire.
Always.
All right. Okay, so we've come to the end of that section and we're bringing the entire show in for a landing. But before we do anything else, do you want to share with us anything? We can have some fun now. Do you want to share with us anything, Garrin? Yeah, we can have some fun for the next few minutes.
Yeah, I mean, if we got that, so we talk about creating a dynamic presentation and creating engagement. So I'd love to have a demonstration where we can show that for you. It's called the Desk Rig Video Challenge. So it's encouraging everybody to do a video challenge, regardless if you have the equipment or not. So I can get this thing set up here. We will switch that over, see what we got. So, are we having some fun? Oh, Juma, we got you on the little screen? Okay, let's dive into this quickly here. So, it's called the LinkedIn Video Challenge. We got the challenge rules, and let's see if I can get my little clicky. This is another thing we do in virtual presentations. When you don't want to use the mouse, you just kind of keep one of these guys. So video message challenge, this is the biggest obstacle when it comes to separating yourself when you're going to LinkedIn messaging specifics. So I do a lot of LinkedIn content creation, and I focus my efforts on LinkedIn to try to generate high quality network individuals, C-suite levels, and sending basic videos is actually going to separate yourself and get you a better response than saying an automated text message or anything like that. So I want to dive into this. So thank you everybody to the presentation in itself. We'll go into that. So the challenging rules for this video challenge, we can dive into it really, really quickly. So you got to find 3 contacts in your network. 3 contacts, that's all you got to do. So you can find clients, you can find influencers, you can find maybe your best friends, really good friends. If you're just starting out with video and you're scared to send a video, find a good friend that you can send this video to. And if you can't find 3, one of the 3 can be your boy GB. No problem at all. You can find me on LinkedIn, send me a quick message for that, and just explain quickly with yourself. So when you're sending a LinkedIn message, you need to respect people's time, right? We think about LinkedIn, it's a business professional platform. Individuals are going on there to do business. So keeping the video in itself 15 to 25 seconds long is imperative. So when you're doing that, quickly introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, and just an appreciation or the purpose of the video. Doing that in 15 seconds is gonna be able to maximize the viewership time without actually losing interest in itself. So that's extremely important. So what we can do is we can all do this together. We can grab a phone. I got to grab my phone quickly and we can do this. So if you're sitting in the crowd and you want to do this, let's jump into it. So just give me one quick second. Ain't no mountain high, oh, what's up, y'all? Hey, how's it going? Hey, yo, G, what are you doing right now? Oh, you're on a live stream. Oh, okay. Who's live streaming you on right now? Anybody even watch this stuff? Who's all watching it? Oh, Juma's live stream. Oh, okay, what's up, Juma? How you doing, my guy? Dang. How many people watching this? Is this our big break or what? Oh, a couple milli. Okay, we leveling up. Listen, okay, I see what you're doing. Oh, you're doing the LinkedIn Live challenge. Oh no, you're doing the video challenge? Oh, okay, you about to, listen, are you gonna do the selfie arm? Oh my God, you're a selfie arm, boy, oh my God. And hey, listen, I gotta let y'all know, Garrin's gonna do the demonstration for y'all, but he's gonna do it with the selfie arm. If you're sending videos to clients, potential customers, or just colleagues that you're looking to gain credibility with, please don't do the selfie arm. Set your phone up on some boxes, put it on a tripod, center it so you're center in the frame. So when you send that message, you're showing off as being a credible source. That's my tip for y'all. Hey, yo, should we send them the invoice on that? Come on. Oh, no, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, let me take care of it. Yeah, we give all the information for free. I know. I don't know how you're going to make money if you keep doing that, bro. Hey, all right. Okay, I'm gone. Hey, let me appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. Take it easy. All right. Okay. Hey, okay. Sorry about that, everyone. I was just, got the phone. The main thing is what we want to do is when you want to send the video, I want to emphasize this, and I actually learned this from you, Juma. When you got your phone and you want to take a video, grab a little handkerchief, little thing, and wipe your greasy your face stains all off on the camera and stuff like that, so you can get that clear picture, right? I'm talking. You know how clear, Juma, like crystal clear. You got a diamond in your tooth. That's how clear you can see it, right? So when you wipe that off, so of course, when you're in the presentation itself, you grab your mobile device, and then what we're going to want to dive into, you go into your messaging app, of course, and then on the top right corner, you're going to be able to find someone. So Juma, I'm actually going to give you a customized video on your show. So Claire Davis, we're going to Live Island. We're doing a live within a live within a live. So opening up your messaging app, and then what you're going to do, for an example, create the message for the client in itself on the top right corner. And then this is a quick example of when I sent a quick video message to my little puppy dog named Juno. Just wanted to get her attention, so I sent her a quick video, and I was able to close the deal right on the spot. So when you go to that, you hit the little button on the bottom left with the plus button there, and then what it's going to do is actually going to prompt you into actually choosing to take a video. So let me clear this out here, Juma, because I gotta send you this customized one here. So we'll go take a video. If I'm going to make a recommendation when you're actually taking the video, don't use your front camera. I would recommend using the back camera, one, because it takes away the distraction of staring at yourself. How bad is it when you send a video and you're staring at yourself? Stare at the clientele, stare at the lens, so it looks like you're looking at your client. So I'd recommend that. Right. So using the back camera, because it has better pixelation in it, you're going to be able to deliver a better picture for itself. So Juma, very quickly, we'll record this. What's going on, Juma? Thank you so much for having me on the Creative Content Show. I appreciate everything you're doing on LinkedIn. And this is what we do. We'll talk to you soon. Simple as that. Boom, pow. Good to go. And then you send that in the flesh. So do that to 3 clients. I hope my phone starts blowing up and I start getting people's videos on that. The keys to success when sending messages on LinkedIn is, listen, have fun with it. It's okay. We don't have to be business professional. Let's have a good time. It's a video message. We talk about authenticity. That's where your authenticity can come out from that as well. So have fun with it. Enjoy it. 15 to 25 seconds. Short and sweet. Respect people's time. And then the last one, be yourself. Be silly, be goofy. Don't be mean, be nice. Just be yourself. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to Garrin Bulani's presentation. This is the Desk Rig Video Challenge. And if you do have any questions, or if you want to learn how we can create a more interactive presentation, listen, Juma, grab your phone, scan this QR code, ladies and gentlemen. You scan that QR code, this is what we talk about. Let's use the screen that we have in front of us and behind us. Scan the QR code. What that's going to do is be able to prompt you to set an appointment with your friend, Garrin Bulani. I would love to talk to you about virtual professionalism and how we can create a better presentation for you and your clientele. So, what do you think about that, Juma? There's my presentation. If you do have any questions, scan the QR codes. You know what it is. What do you think about that, Juma?
No, listen, what I think about it matters less than what the people are saying now.
Are they loving it? Yeah, I hope so.
Saying this is next level. So you're wondering, wait, hold on, there are 2 Garrins. What's happening there? I actually forgot that that was going to happen. They say, right, unless it's on a desk rig, then bring yes. Very good. And Janelle said, I know, right, in response to Lorenzo. And Garrin, of course, is saying, who do you know that needs a desk rig? And Lorenzo is saying, who do you know
that needs a desk rig is right.
No wonder Garrin said, don't start with cheap equipment. Now I understand why. So that's great. People are impressed at what you did. I kind of saw what you were going to do, but I am also impressed. Very good and excellent. Thanks so much. That's great. Before we go, if you all have any questions, real quick, you can ask me. But before we go, do you have any last things to share with the audience, Garrin, before we bring this thing in for landing?
Yeah, I mean, I had fun doing this. Anytime you want me back on the show, I'd be love to do this. If we want to do more presentations on different aspects of virtual professionalism, I encourage everybody, if you do want to find out how you can increase more professionalism, whether it be equipment, software to use, reach out to Desk Rig, reach out to myself, Garrin Bulani, or reach out to Garrin Parkins, Parkins. Last name is Bulani, Bulani. Listen, there's only 2 Garrins on LinkedIn. So no matter however you spell it, you're going to find one of us. And listen, we'd be happy to learn more about you and what we can do. That's my self-promo. And that's all I got. Anything else you want me to, like, kind of, we could do juggling or something like that?
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I need to share some of your info. But while that's happening, people, you saw it for yourself of how powerful green screen can be and how it can really elevate your presentations. You saw it for yourself, live demonstration. We say show, don't tell. It's very important. So you can check out Garrin on LinkedIn. This is his link right down there check out that link. And if you want to go to the website, it's microstudio.design. And you spinning up on YouTube, but people can still go follow it if they want Garrin Bulani on YouTube. right?
I'm building on my YouTube page and everything like that too. And also check out deskrig.com. MicroStudio is a division of Deskrig and everything. So microstudio.design.
Oh, let me add that in.
Yeah, deskrig.com is extremely important because we have a lot of stuff on there and it allows you to actually get a hold of myself or the other Garrins. So we'll get deskrig.com on there, and then either way, we'll be able to help you out.
Right, so deskrig.com, check that out. That's the place
that was
to be.
quick. There you go. See, Juma, Mr. Producer, let's go, man. Okay.
Learning from the best, man. That's the place to be. All right, let me just check the comments one more time. So Kai is saying, this is the best presenter you had, the only one who caught my attention. So, okay, Kai.
On. Let me get something. Like, hang on. We gotta like do something. Like oh no, that's the wrong one. We'll do a
Timpani. All right. And then it is like, Garrin, thank you for reinforcing that the sky is not the limit with Deskrig. That the sky is not the limit with Deskrig. Okay. And then Kai is like, he's the only one who caused me to watch his presentation, and speaking is gravitating. What, you got some major kudos there, man.
Hey, thank you all. I appreciate that. Listen, my goal is to have everybody who's on video to be able to do what I just did. I'm not doing anything secret. I'm not doing anything special. Proper education, proper equipment, and we'll be able to turn you into a rock star over at Deskrig. So not a problem at all.
All right, excellent. So good. So good. Thanks everybody for coming on to the show and being in the audience, being part of the community. Because you're not just an audience, you're part of the community. And let me just kind of show some of the things that go along here. If you want, you can go see the replay. If you're watching the replay, don't forget to put your UCC replay for those who are coming on the replay. And I want to thank you, Garrin, for being on this evening and for sharing everything that you did with us. And next time we'll do some more fancy stuff. So throw your bulbs up.
Bulbs up, people. Let's go. Let's go.
As we exit the studio. Thanks again, community, and we'll see you soon. Bye.